And so the first step in really getting your Azure costs under control is understanding what you're running, because we're going to ask questions later on in the process that require us to know the resources we have and which ones we think are going to be around long term, which ones are right sized. So one of the recommendations you're going to get from Advisor first off the bat is it's going to find any disks that are unused, VMs that are underutilized, and it's going to recommend either turning them off or resizing them to a smaller size that fits the resource requirements of what you're doing. So you may have a VM spec'd for 4 cores and 32 gigs of RAM, but it's not doing anything. It's just a lightweight utility server. It's just running a reporting agent. It's going to recommend that you go to like a 2-core 8 gig of RAM VM because it's going to save you 60%. But that's all that server's using, and it just takes the metrics of what it's been doing over time and gives you that data. So the number one thing we're going to start with in Azure Cost Management is understanding our environment and then starting to do cleanup. Can we consolidate down our servers? Can we get them to a size that's closer to their performance needs? Can we clean up old servers? One of the things we see a lot is that people will build out servers and then forget their testing environments, or they'll leave a server running. And the way Azure works is if the server is running, it's billing you for the compute infrastructure. So if it's something used once a month for testing, you can shut it down into a state called deallocated. And in that state, the disk still exists. It can be turned on in an instant, but it's not charging you for the compute costs because it's deallocated. If you put it into a stop state, but not deallocated, that means that it's actually still reserving resources on that server and you're still paying for it. So it's important to understand which of your resources you want to keep around. Are they properly sized? And then to understand your long-term plans with those resources. That sets the baseline for everything we're going to do going forward. When we understand our environment, we understand the purpose of those VMs and the requirements for their performance and how they're working and what we're doing, then we can get into the next piece, which is all of the cost savings measures are built on top of that, because they go into, can we schedule downtime and pay less money because we're going to turn it off when we're not using it? Can we say, hey, we don't want to turn it off, but we're going to use the same VM the same way for 3 years. So Azure, charge me less for running this VM for 3 years. Those are the sorts of things we can get into our later conversations, and we'll dig into the details on how that works out in our cost management tool conversation and really talk through those variables. The other variable to look at is a lot of times people are also running Azure Virtual Desktop. It's a service we love. It's a great way to get people onto kind of a desktop environment in the cloud. It's kind of like remote desktop, if you remember that, or Citrix from back in the day. It's Azure's hosted version of that. It's very secure, very stable, very scalable. But the one thing about it is it does require some management. We have some great third-party tools that can help you through managing it. But it's the same conversation. How many servers you need? What's the right level of scaling? Can they be turned off after hours, or can we scale them back after hours? And finding that nuanced answer can really save you a lot of money over time.